Video.
3. It is. Yes, now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I'm Jason, as always. My co-host, the voice of MMA in Utah, Mr. Zack. Partridge.
What up, dog?
Dude, why does a video clip I just noticed that look like I'm totally exhausted, 1, which I was, and 2, I'm getting punched in the face by Tyson.
Are you?
It was coming.
We get goosebumps, Jeff. We do.
Yes, that was freaking dope. Hey, who won the bet?
That little turd did. Are we really gonna open the show with that?
Starting the show off with Jeff. Oh,
okay,
man. What a freaking what? Oh.
No,
Should talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Let's just get it out of the way. We'll just get it out of the way.
Yeah. What did you think of it? What did you think of the fight?
The overall thing was, dude, Showtime's the way to go. Triller sucks, and Showtime's the way to go if you're the Paul brothers, because the heavyweight boxing match was really fun.
Yeah.
I thought the girl boxing match was great. That was good boxing. And dude, the other fights on the card were really fun. I enjoyed sitting down and watching the entire boxing card. I wasn't watching it intently like a UFC card or anything, but it was on and I was watching it, and when I was watching, I was entertained.
What did you think of the main event?
Tyron Woodley still afraid to let his hands go.
Did you hear him in the corner too? You got to let your hands go. And I'm like, that's a familiar statement.
We've just been listening to that for 3 years.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I think now me and you both agreed. The bet was that Jake Paul would win probably, but if anybody was getting knocked out, it was Jake Paul. Jake Paul wasn't knocking out Tyron Woodley.
Do you think there's too much money into that for it to be was Woodley going to knock him out?
Yes.
Was that ever, you think so? You think if that was somebody else with a little more head hunting skills would have taken him out?
Well, who said it? It might've been in the group. I think it was.
Or do you think there's some behind the scenes?
I don't. I actually don't with that. I think the Mayweather Logan Paul one was.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they definitely had an agreement.
But I think they were both out there to try and knock each other out. And I don't think Jake Paul possesses the power. When people are like the punching power, he doesn't punch. He doesn't have the power to one punch knock out somebody like Tyron Woodley, dude. And let's be honest, Tyron Woodley came in shape. Ben Askren wasn't in shape when he knocked him out. You know what I mean? Ben Askren got tired walking down the ramp. So I would have to say this though, after I watched it, after I just watched somebody, a professional MMA fighter in his pro debut that knew his fight was going to be 3 rounds, quit on the stool after 1 round this weekend at the Fierce card.
Yep.
You can't say Jake Paul's not a fighter because he got punched. He was tired. Momentum,
he was gassed.
Momentum was shifting to Tyron Woodley, and I thought Tyron's going to make him quit, and Jake never quit.
You know what's
he was tired, and he had, and his technique and everything was going, but dude, he's competitive enough that he won't quit.
You know what's crazy about the whole situation is you take a guy like him who's multimillionaire, right? Like popularity wise.
Oh yeah.
And he's still, for as hard as he trains and to get out there and fight these guys, I mean, you got to give him credit, man.
See, that's the difference between Logan and Jake for me is Logan's a 100% sideshow.
Yeah.
Me, right.
Yeah.
He's willing to do an MMA fight in a cage. He says he even talked with Dana, and Dana's like, yeah, Logan's a cool kid, like whatever, and they're this and that. And Logan's literally in at 100% entertainment value. Like remember when Polakostin knocked him out?
Yeah.
Like, I think that was set up. I think Paulo Costa, like that was set up. He's like, hey, this will look really good in the lead up to the fight here. Knock me out. Like he's willing to do anything for views. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Jake actually believes that he can become a professional fighter and like a legit fighter.
I'd have to agree with that.
He might be delusional, but like, I think he actually believes that, but then he trains like a professional fighter and he has the money to do that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, but like, who's to say he can't?
He's doing it.
He's doing it.
He's doing it. And he's putting this platform out here for these guys to come over like a Tyron Woodley or a Ben Askren and go in there and make more money than they've made fighting in the UFC to go fight a freaking YouTuber, arguably.
How about Tommy Fury?
Tommy Fury, same thing.
Like, who knew who Tommy Fury was before it started getting floated around that he's a potential matchup for Jake Paul? I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't either. And he's good.
I didn't even know that Tyson Fury had a little brother.
I don't think Jake wants that fight with him. He's pretty good.
He should take the rematch with T Wood probably. But I mean, T Wood came in shape. The quality of boxing shouldn't be main eventing a pay-per-view card, right? Like that should be like
no, but
but they're the headliners and they're the names, so they're going to. The big thing, and I think it was Dutch that broke this down. He's 100% correct. This is boxing. Tyron Woodley does not have the experience in how to setting up the big knockout punch in boxing. Like this isn't MMA where you can like dip down like you're going to shoot and then come up with an uppercut and like clean somebody's clock. Right.
Yeah.
And you can even see it in T Wood's stance. He had like almost like a wide, long stance. And sometimes I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Trying to shoot, making him worried that you're going to shoot it. Like, yeah. So it's habit, right? He's been doing that for 20 years.
I wanted
I'm not totally dogging it.
No, it wasn't I figured it was going to be kind of a circus fight, and it kind of was. Like the competition level obviously was not there, but I didn't hate it. Like you said, the undercard was freaking phenomenal. It was fun.
The undercard was fun. The thing, the other thing is that I have to bring up. There's things that Jake just doesn't understand too, and maybe that's what makes him so marketable and what makes him so popular with non-fighting people and stuff. But you're never going to get the fighting community to take you seriously when you're fighting in fight trunks that have your name like digitally circling around them.
It's funny because
first thing I noticed, I was like, the hell does he have on?
We were talking about last night. We had some people over last night and we were talking about how MMA, like diehard MMA fans need to realize like this isn't diehard MMA. Like it's celebrity, it's celebrity boxing basically is what it is. Like, don't go into there thinking that this is going to be a high level main event boxing match because it's not. Like, it's just not. You need to go in there with like, hey, it's a promotion. This is entertainment. You know what I mean? This isn't pure martial arts or pure boxing. I mean, it is boxing, but you're not watching Canelo.
And whether you paid for it or streamed it, you watched. And when you watched, guess what? Jake Paul wins.
And people are talking. Look at us. We're talking about it.
Well, of course we're talking. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. That wasn't the worst thing I've seen in combat sports on TV this year. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't bad. And I was entertained.
Roman's entertained enough to watch the next Paul show. I mean, and Showtime did a
100%.
phenomenal job. Them, like you said, them moving it to Showtime that's the move, man. That was the move. He's getting fighters paid. That's
the
it
key
right there.
That's the key.
He's bringing more awareness to these guys. You and I talked about it on last week when I came up there about how, everybody's complaining about the fighter pay and they want the fighters to be paid more. Yet these guys have this platform, this huge platform. And you brought up the perfect example of Randy Costa and Adrian Yanez doing their podcast and how together, right?
After their opponents.
That is huge. Like, these guys are going to have sponsors lined up to sponsor this podcast. You and I have been doing this for a year and a half and we don't make a freaking dime. Not that we're complaining about it because we love doing it, but these guys are using the platform that the UFC is giving them. And it's going to be huge for these guys. Like, I think you're starting to see this younger generation, this new wave social media generation is coming in. And a lot of these diehards, they might not like it, but it's getting these guys paid.
It's not that I just don't like it. I hate the fact that they're complaining about. I hate the fact that people are complaining about fighter pay that aren't willing to do any marketing work themselves or aren't willing to use, and aren't willing to use the platform that they've been given.
Yeah.
Like, dude, use it. I mean, if you want to play the bad guy, play the bad guy. If you want to be the good guy that everybody loves, be the good guy. Be yourself. Be a different person. I don't care. Use your freaking platform to draw eyeballs. When you draw eyeballs, you become worth more. When you become worth more, you get paid more.
You're seeing that shift as if you're a fighter, if you're a professional MMA fighter, you're an entrepreneur. You're building your business. You're building your brand.
And if you don't view yourself as such, the only person you have to blame is yourself.
And it's fine. There's some guys that it's fine, but you're starting to see that shift now where the guys that are promoting themselves, the guys that are taking it serious, not to say the other guys aren't, but the guys that are taking their brand serious, they're the ones that are getting paid. Conor McGregor's the highest paid athlete this year.
And he's fought like one time in 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, hello, he's using his platform.
He did it, though. He did it.
Yep.
He did it. Hey, Kai, I look forward to I hope we see you fighting again. That was a really good fight, and you put on a great show. Like, congratulations on your 155 title, bro.
Let's get into that. Let's just get into the Fierce card first.
Yeah.
So we're on it. What a great way to start off the night. That was a fun fight.
That is one of the things that I enjoy about the the structure of the Fierce cards is if you start with the AMI card first, you get some really high level AMI fights in nice quick one title fight. Too bad we didn't get to see Dave DiMaggio and Austin Strill due to COVID, but we get in real quick title fight, and it was a really good fight. Like, we all know Andrew Dean. Andrew, all the Agama guys, I have to apologize because I called you Will Dean probably 7-8 times on the broadcast. I'm sorry. I like both of you. It's good. But one thing that it was a really good fight. I thought they both did some things really well. I think Kai Stewart's cardio was a huge factor in that fight, and he came so prepared. And two, I think his experience played into it. He just seemed he seemed 100% ready for that moment. He was ready.
Fight. You could see it.
You could see it in his eyes. And Andrew Dean, I think that's a really good learning experience for him. Dude, man, like you go through it. If your first loss comes in a title fight on that type of stage, like, it's all positives as long as you learn and grow from it. And he has a great team around him, and I think he will.
Yeah, I think it was phenomenal. I thought Kai's wrestling and jiu-jitsu was slick. That pressure he was putting on with his wrestling and jiu-jitsu.
And to do that, I mean, and how impressive is it to do that to an Agama guy who we usually see them? They're the ones that kind of win in that area. So I mean, that just speaks to the level that Kai Stewart is. Like, I mean, he came off a unanimous decision loss, unfortunately. In Montana, and then turns around in 4 weeks and comes and gets a win. And
it's impressive.
That's that's a stud right there. Like,
Hey,
I'm really interested to see because Kai, you mentioned, and we got to get you on the podcast at some point, brother. He said he wants to see what that 145 strap looks like. You know, Dean's teammate Zack is fighting for the Steel Fist 145 title here in a few weeks. Eli from Syndicate's been up fighting at 145. Hector Lopez from Koa is another good 145er. Like, there's some really, really good 145ers in the state too that, you know, I'm not sure.
Eli's Vegas.
Well, yeah, that's true. Eli is Vegas, but I mean, hey Kai, Hector
I want to
Lopez.
see him. Hector Lopez.
Hey Kai,
that'd be
you know what? I'm texting Cody right now.
Him and Hector. I actually like
you could fight.
Just not someone you want back.
I love it. Hey, I like the
we actually reached out.
Swagger, bro.
We were messaging back and forth. He was going to come on, and then he had some other announcements, and I won't say it, but I'll let him say what he's doing next. But he told me he had some stuff on the horizon, what he's doing next. I like the guy. I think he's fun.
I do too. I nothing not to like about him.
Next up, confidence. Next up, we had Drew Harbertson and Brandon Hansvik. Dude, you watch out for you guys. If you guys don't know his name, remember that Drew Harbertson kid's name. He's a stud, man. He's another pressure wrestling guy too. What is he? Yeah. Oh, he's 135. Brandon Drew ended up getting the rear naked choke pretty quickly in the first round.
You know, that was one that is just like it like that was just that was a really tough fight for Brandon. And I knew he was in for a tough fight. And you know, Brandon's game, and he talks about it. He doesn't just fight just for like wins or money or fame or anything. He has a much deeper meaning, and which is so respectable and so cool. But you know, Drew's not messing around in there, dude. And
no, he's a problem.
I mean, he's a giant problem at 135. There were so many 130 fights on that card too, and like
I know
it's like, what did we have? Four.
Yep.
For four. And so it's like, I
four.
mean, man, yeah. So hey, Drew Harbertson, like, yeah, watch out, because
watch out for him.
He's coming to choke somebody near you.
Next up, again in the 135. What?
Okay, go ahead. I just had the epiphany, but go ahead.
I was just going to say, we had another 135-pound fight right after that with Jeremiah Young, who we had on the podcast fighting Thomas Partridge, and that was a good back and forth fight. I thought that was a really good fight.
That was so close. I wasn't positive. I wasn't positive if they were going to favor Partridge's volume output, and like I felt like he walked forward more. But Jeremiah did the most damage and like landed the harder, cleaner shots.
Watching it cage side, I thought Jeremiah took the first round, and I thought Thomas's pressure was doing it enough, but Jeremiah was, I thought, landing a little bit harder shot. It was a super close fight. It was a fun fight. Had the crowd on their feet. Both those guys are great. I actually talked to Jeremiah a little bit after. Great kid. Can't wait to see
what he. Again, I have to apologize because I mixed up Jeremiah and our other guest, Nick Perez.
Oh, did you get them mixed up?
Yeah, and I thought Jeremiah was the cop, and it was not.
Well, they're both the Extreme Couture guys. So
yeah, I mixed them up. My bad.
He's a fun kid too, though.
Roman, let me know.
Yeah. Oops. Next up, big Zack Cavender back in the win column. Zack, dude. Zack had everybody on the edge of their seat a little bit. Dan Trejo had to wake up Mr. Cavender.
He was game, but he was only game for one round, apparently.
He was only, and then he was like, I'm done.
Dude,
I didn't get that.
He did it. Okay, and all I can go off is my own experience, right?
Yeah.
But look, when me and Justin left the cage, right? And then him to say, no, I'm done, I'm exhausted, and he's walking around fine. I'm like,
calling for a rematch.
Fighter to fighter. I'm like, you're not exhausted, dude. Like, me and Justin were exhausted. That's not exhausted.
Well, so I didn't have a clear view. I didn't have a clear view of the shots behind the head. They was right in front of you. What were they pretty bad?
Oh yeah, dude. Okay, I hope Zack doesn't mind me sharing this though, but I am sitting there and he's like, yeah, I can fight. And he's like leaning on the cage. I can see,
I could see his eye. Oh yeah, me too.
And I'm like, he's not okay. And like, I'm on the broadcast, so I can't say it, but I wanted to be like, Zack, like, it's okay. Just take the DQ and like get a rematch or something. But like, you're not okay. Like, he was 100% compromised for sure.
But it flipped the switch on because he got more aggressive after that.
He did. He came out hot, and and that's what, that's the way that Zack Cavender needs to fight, right? And he threw a head kick that went over that little fella's head, and then which helped him get a takedown. But then later after that, he measured it a little bit better and landed a really clean head kick. And was when he was fighting at distance, and then when the guy tries to close the distance, throwing knees and uppercuts. Yeah,
his eyes. He should have taken some more time.
Who had a good as a judge? Like I'm sitting there, like he was right in front of me. He's like, I'm like, he's like, yeah, I could fight. I'm like, okay, I've sparred with Zack and rolled with him. It's not pleasant, but I'm like, I felt like I could take advantage right there,
Yeah.
No, but again, dude, it's like for me too, and I could relate to that too. I would never feel okay taking a win like that either. Like, I'd probably rather get knocked out and take the L than taking a win on a DQ like that. Like, logically, it doesn't make sense, but I 100% get where Zack's coming from, and I respect it. Like, it just, he's like, I'm gonna keep going, and if I lose because of it, so be it. Like, I'm not gonna quit. So there's
a fine line there. As a professional fighter.
So time out though. So in my opinion, if I could see it cage side, you could see it pretty close to cage side, and Dutch could see it from his position as a job. Why didn't the doctor see it? Why?
Good question. Good question.
I thought that was kind of the doctor's job, was to protect the fighter from themselves, much like it's the ref's job, right?
Yeah. Sheree and I were both like, he should take more time.
I thought the doctor would be like, dude, he stumbled right after he's like, yeah, I can keep fighting. He walked and kind of stumbled. Right then, the doctor should have been like, nope, I'm calling this fight. Sorry. Like, and either call it a no contest or DQ and run it back. But I kind of thought isn't that the doctor's job?
I wonder what Keith and Brandon were thinking, because they had a good view of his eyes too.
He was right. They were crossed on the other side. Like,
yeah, but they could see.
Right, he was right in front of me. Like,
yeah,
I'm looking up at him going, you're not okay, dog. Like, but we love Zack, and he's gonna fight, and he's a fighter's fighter and stuff. But
definitely
like I said, like you said, it's a fine line. It's a pro thing. Protect the fighter from themselves. Like, the doctor should have taken that off of Zack's shoulders and been like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just make this call. Like, and it was illegal. There was no and ifs or buts. 100% illegal shot.
So was he allowed to have time to take 5 minutes, like a low blow with that? Or is that just hey, can you fight? If you can't fight, it's a DQ.
Yeah. He said, I'm good to go.
But would he have had the same time though, with the behind the head shots as like a low blow where you get 5 minutes? Or no?
I think so.
I thought he should have taken a little more time too, but either way, he came out with a victory. So
that
guy wasn't. That's another thing. Like, dude, the kid had a couple minutes to rest in between. Like, come on.
Yeah. See, like, I mean, nothing against the kid. I have nothing against him. And if he sees this and wants to come on the podcast and explain where he's coming from,
100%.
More than welcome to come on the conversation. But I'm just saying, you quit to exhaustion. Like, dude, the fighter isn't in charge.
Thanks, Dutch.
Thank you, Dutch. That's why we have professionals on here. No, it just, that irks me, dude. When he's like, no, I can't go anymore, but when he's walking out just fine.
Oh, well, Dutch says only low blow. Ergel says you get 5 minutes to recover. So a little disagreement there.
I'm going to go with the judge for the athletic commission on this. Nothing against Ergel, but if I'm going to listen to something, I'm going to listen to the person employed by the athletic commission. But anyways, it's really frustrating to me to watch somebody quit like that when he clearly, like, dude, walk to the center of the cage and get knocked out then and take the L like in a way that I don't know. I mean,
he didn't even look like he was. Didn't even look like he was breathing hard.
Tired.
No.
So I don't. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe something else was wrong.
It could have been.
If he's literally like, nope, I'm just too tired. Like I don't got it anymore. I'm sorry. If I'm Zack Cavender, I'm saying if all you had is one round in you, I do not care if it was a short notice fight or what.
Yeah.
If you are going to step in and call yourself a professional fighter, you should be at least willing to go 3 rounds.
Yeah.
I mean, he was not exhausted. Me and Justin McDonald were exhausted after our fight. That was not exhausted.
Yeah. All right.
It irks me and it frustrates me. And I'm happy that Zack got the W over that. And if I was Zack and his management team, I would not oblige in a rematch over somebody that can't answer the bell for the second round. No. It's not like it was the 3rd round or anything. It was 1 5-minute round, bro.
With a break in between.
Yeah, you got a decent, like you said, at least a solid 2 minutes. It's basically an AMI fight. You basically did almost 2 rounds of an AMI fight.
Yeah. Next up, this one was nasty. Billy Ilinka and Starling Simmons. You know what was really interesting about this fight is Billy breaking down what happened in our Facebook group. Like how he was evading those low clicks. Yeah. Yeah. That was impressive.
And he broke it down. So for those that don't follow, he said
that was the
then that was dumb. That's a dumb mindset to go into a fight with, and you should know better if you're going to be a professional fighter. Regardless, though, moving on because I'm getting way too heated over this.
Yeah, not worth it.
No, Billy. Everybody's known like the physical like attributes that Billy Ilinka has, right? You know, he's long, he's rangy, he's flowy, he's got beautiful footwork and movement. He does. He's. I praise him as a very high compliment. He's that next wave that's going to be the face of this sport here in the next 7-8 years. Like he's that type of a talent. Is he going to go undefeated? Probably not, because not very many people do. I'm sure that he'll have some speed bumps along the road. I'm not saying he's invincible, but he is a special, special talent. And people, all people see is the physical. But to hear him in the post-fight interview talking about that was the 3rd leg kick I checked, and he kept throwing them harder and harder, even though I was checking them.
He didn't check it. He was moved back.
Well, no, but he checked.
Oh,
that was the 3rd one that he checked. So he does both, right? Some of them evaded, and some of them he checked.
Yeah.
His fight IQ is high.
Yeah, the way he broke it down.
That is high-level fight IQ stuff. And I feel like I can watch and I have a pretty good eye for seeing things and what's going on, but it's one thing to be able to watch from outside the cage and see. And that's why you have corners and you listen to them and stuff, because you can't really see anything.
Yeah.
But to be in the cage and in that moment and recognizing that
breaking that. Yep.
That's different.
Yeah. That was impressive. Like reading that, I was like, oh, okay. Like I knew he was legit. I knew he was good.
Making in cage reads, that's a different level of professionalism.
That's special.
There are guys locally that do that as well and stuff. But I mean, he is everything as advertised. Hopefully a speedy recovery for Starling.
Yeah. I was standing a little bit back away. I heard what happened. Didn't catch it live, but I heard it. Yeah. So Starling, all hopes to a speedy recovery for you, brother. All right, next up, we had Connie Carrera and Trevor Bradshaw. This was a fun one too, man. These guys were going at it.
Weird ending.
Really weird ending. I had to watch it a couple times to see exactly what Trevor got caught with, because it was kind of
a back fist, and it just like wobbled his equilibrium just enough that it looked really bad, and I'm sure to the ref, and that's why it got stopped. And I don't think it was a bad stoppage because of the way it just looked to everybody. But Trevor hopped right up and was fine, and it was like he'd gotten his equilibrium back like almost instantly. It is very, very weird.
Trevor, he looked really good. I think that you're starting to see him evolve, and it was nice. Not nice, but it was pretty cool to see him, be a little bit more patient, picking his shots. His footwork, his movement looked phenomenal.
His footwork and movement looked great. He is, and man, when we had him on, I said it, and I really thought he was gonna. This was probably the fight that I was the most wrong on, where I picked. I felt like if I had to pick the fights, I felt like this was a fight that Trevor was going to win, and I think he was in total control and winning that fight. All the way from my seat, I felt like Trevor was in complete control the whole time, and until that happened. But he has, and we had him on the podcast. I said it. Even though the Mitch Ramirez fight didn't go his way in this one, he's getting better fight to fight. Like those wins will come. They're coming. Yeah.
Well,
Trevor, I could see Trevor being a type of guy that goes on a like 5, 6, 7+ long win streak and just starts rattling them off.
I thought it was pretty awesome. Connie had his students walking him out on that. That was pretty cool. And hey, shout out to Connie because he hasn't fought in 7 years.
Yeah, it was 2014.
2014, he comes back and that's a big win.
Bring back that last comment about T Wood.
Oh, there.
We are Bruce Bob Trotter. We already addressed it, but if you think what Woodley did was an embarrassment to combat sports, I would love to know your credentials on fighting. That's all. Sorry, side note, but I don't like comments like that.
Connie is the man, guys. Yeah, Connie's he's
a stud,
good
fight, and he's
a great fight for having a 7-year layoff and coming back. And hey, is there an intense guy in the cage than Connie? Did you see his eye? He was like freaking BJ Penn, like he was like focused, man.
Oh yeah. He was. It was a good fight. I mean, I praise Trevor and stuff too, but credit to Connie. Like he got the job done. And at the end of the day, he fought till the ref said stop and he did a good job.
I had to be a fighter to be a fight fan, educated fans to watching MMA for years. Do I need certification? No, you don't need
No, you don't need to. I'm just saying, I don't see how that was an embarrassing performance. I appreciate you tuning in. It's not a dig. You don't need a certification. But I think that most people that do it have a little bit of respect, at least of going in there and doing what he did.
I don't think, in my opinion, it's an entertainment fight. To me, it wasn't a fight. That's the way I look at it. I think there was more behind the scenes stuff to it. But anyways, next up we had Warren Weingartner against Julius Lopez. This was a banger too, man. Those guys were throwing down and just cracking each other.
Mm-hmm.
Did you look at the fight pictures on the Fierce page?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. There's that one where Warren's getting punched right in the nose. It was like spot on.
Yeah.
That was
Julius was so game. And you got to remember, that was his pro debut, but he had 17 amateur fights. And one of those was the guy against Draco Rodriguez, who's in the UFC now.
Yep.
So he tested himself along the way. So he didn't have the sexiest record in the world for an amateur fight, but he was experienced and he was ready coming up from Syndicate. He's one of those Syndicate guys that they were really high on, and they fed him to a freaking monster on the ground. I mean, Warren, we've seen Warren pull guard in fights, which is like a no-no in MMA, right? You don't ever want somebody on top of you. And his jiu-jitsu off his back is so good that like he openly welcomes it. And he's 4-0 as a pro and 4 first-round finishes, or four finishes by submission. Now I will say what I wanted to say. Warren versus Drew Harbertson, anybody?
Sign me up.
Sign me all the way up for that.
Sign me up. Warren and Drew, wrestling versus jiu-jitsu, baby.
Like,
let's get it.
Dominant elite wrestling versus dominant elite jiu-jitsu. The other thing I got to give Warren too is you can really see his striking has gotten a lot better as well.
It has. Yeah. He had some really good kicks.
He was tough. I think he was rocked at least twice. Once for sure, like where the expression on his face changed for a second. Man, he stood in there. There was blood everywhere. There was blood on our sheets. My co-host got his blood on his shirt. Like, dude, we had a good, freaking good fight. all the way around. But again, once Lauren locked up the body triangle, I knew it was over. Like I was like, I kept saying on the broadcast, I'm like, you can't go down with that kid. You can't go down with that kid. You can't go down with that kid. And once it went down and he took his back, I'm like, man, it's over. Like just a matter of time. It's over. We put up Fiji's last comment.
I'm all in though on Warren and Drew.
Sign me up gosh.
For that. Sign me up for that. So Cody, let's get it. Let's get it. What am I talking to Cody for? You freaking make it happen.
Yeah. Woodley's 39 years old.
I just think people are getting too hyped up about
a little too
this MMA versus boxing, and it's like, look, guys, it was entertainment, man. Like he got paid, he got out there, did his thing. I still think there's something in the contract where it's like, hey,
no, there wasn't.
I think there was.
No way.
I think there was.
No way.
I think there was. Dude, Paul was exhausted after the second round, and for him to keep going, props to him. But you can't tell me Woodley didn't see that. And with his fight IQ, I just come on, bro. But anyways, I don't want to talk about that anymore because that doesn't mean anything. Next up, my boy Joe Haro and Kesley Coward, fight of the night.
I wore my Joel shirt today. I wore my Joe Haro shirt today.
Hey, freaking Kesley is a warrior. Holy crap. They stopped the fight, right? It was TKO in the second round, and he still wanted to keep going.
Yeah.
He had to get carried out of the cage. His leg was pretty messed up, and he kept fighting back. He was still firing shots. But Joe was just, he obviously I trained with him a little bit. So I knew what the game plan was going to be going into it. And it was exactly what he said it was. Joe's on another, he's on another level right now, man.
I didn't see anything like physically that's on another level with Joel too, but like mentality wise and how ready he was to just and go out to execute as somebody, I think that's harder than people realize, to have a game plan and just stick to it religiously, like the way that he did. And it paid off, and it paid off in a big way. Like that was a big time performance,
especially with the momentum that Kesley had.
Oh yeah.
Having a huge well, first he fights Fierce, and then a month later he takes the LFA fight on short notice, subs the guy in 44 seconds, and then he comes in there and fights Joel. Like, dude, he's still a problem.
Oh, for sure he is. I mean, Kesley doesn't just automatically go away. He's still a 2-1 pro with his one loss coming to, one of the top guys in the region. Like,
there's nothing to hang your head about at all. Yeah. Joel, I love that, which he's going to come and talk about, so I'll let him talk about it. But having Bobby King in his corner too, and I know he was doing some training with Bobby.
I was talking about it. I was talking about it with another fighter. Like when you sometimes, Joel's has good gyms, he has good coaches, he has good training partners and stuff. But sometimes just having a little bit of a fresh look at things and some different looks and training partners, I think it really helps. Like when you're at those really big gyms where you have lots and lots of bodies, that's not an issue. But like for me, for example, at One Hit, I pretty much have all the body type styles that I would need. I don't really have to go anywhere to get different looks. Where Joel's had kind of a little bit smaller fight camp of actual fighters, and then being at Sierra MMA and stuff, great coaching. Who he has is great, but it's a little bit small, right? And so going up with Bobby and training with somebody that's an elite fighter like Bobby King, getting looks from him, but then training with his fight team too a little bit, I think it adds an element that I think definitely has helped. We're watching Joel Haro evolve even more and taking leveling up as he's doing this, which is awesome to see.
I'm stoked to see what the future holds for Joel coming forward.
And you know what? And like I said, this is the craziest thing about this. And Ryan Alt with such good perspective. We talked to him a little bit after the fights.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't feel like my guys lost. Yeah. Trevor Bradshaw and Kesley's like, those aren't L's. Like those are really good learning experience for my guys. And
like, 100%.
I think how awesome is it that they have a coach that can keep that perspective? Because I can see coaches that get pretty down on guys after fights. I won't call them by name, but they get pretty down on guys after fights, that they just the result is a loss. And so they get down on them. And he's like, that was great learning experience. That's really good perspective from their coach. And Kesley and Trevor, they're just going to grow from it as well.
Yeah. 100%, man. 100%. Look forward to seeing both those guys back in the cage. Dalton, to answer your question, it is Steven Seiler who was in the main event. Steven Seiler versus Carson Hardman. Seiler comes out, gets the takedown, gets the submission, 437 in the first round. That was impressive win.
Looked about as good.
He looked good. He looked good on his feet. Yeah, I was impressed with it.
I just had somebody send me this real quick. Look, that's Jake Paul as a kid. Wow. And he's like, Woodley lost to this MFer. That's funny.
Hey, Woodley's got a fat bank account this morning, though.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, but Seiler's no joke, man. 60 plus pro MMA fights. He's no slouch, and which Carson Hardman knew. He said
knew it, but he knew. It's like, but Carson, I texted Carson after win, lose or draw. I'm always a fan of his and to respect him, and that was a big moment for Carson. That was a big moment for Carson, and last time he had a big moment and he lost to Clay Collard, he rattled off a couple nice wins after that. Yeah. I would expect him to do the same after this one.
Yeah. So are we going to see Seiler back? He didn't retire, right?
No,
I see him back again too, right?
Mean, I don't mean to speak out of turn, but I heard, boxing, he said it on our podcast that he might take a boxing match.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he might have something lined up here shortly for that. And then, but no, I don't think he's done.
COVID.
Ty Freeman tested positive at weigh-ins for COVID, unfortunately. So we didn't get to see that fight. Big bummer.
But all in all, man, it was a great night. I've lost my voice. I was going to touch on, what was awesome. Well, you saw where my seats were. I'm right there at the cage entrance as these guys are walking down, right? And sitting there and being able to hear Pedro talk to Joel before he went in, and just Joel's going to come on Friday and he'll tell her. But I got to talk to him a little bit yesterday about just picking his brain about the process and what he was going through backstage and walking down. And it was funny because all Joe's tables were on both sides of the walkout, right? So we had me, but on the other side of me was his family, like his mom and everybody. So we all line up, right, as before the walkouts. And I could see Kesley and Ryan. I could see their shadow. They were coming in. So I'm like telling everybody, you guys know Kesley's walking out first, right? So Kesley walks out and he's trying to give everybody high fives and nobody's giving him I was the only one that stuck my hand out to give him high fives.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I was like, hey,
it's interesting, and I said that on the broadcast as well, as how relaxed Kesley looked in his body language and everything too. Like I'm super impressed with it, like that type of demeanor. I like that too. Like
they had to catch him. He was trying to jump in the cage. How there's the commission has to check him before he gets in. Kesley tried to run right into the cage. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't. I actually couldn't see that. The posts were in my vision. I couldn't see that part.
They had to grab him. He literally went to just go run in the cage. He was that pumped up. Like he was doing the thing with his arms and he's flying down. It's like, yeah, to see two guys like that are just in the moment. It was awesome, man. It was a good experience.
But to see the different perspectives that they had on it, because like I said, like Joel is all business, super intense. Kesley was kind of being like a little more playful and like enjoying the moment too. And it's there's not a right or wrong. It's just whatever works. But it was fun to see the two contrasting styles, if you will.
We talk about fighters having that switch, and Joel's one of those guys that he has that switch. Because if you talk to him, other than the cauliflower ear, you probably wouldn't think he was a fighter. Because he's just always got this big smile on his face. And I was telling Cherie before he walked out, I'm like, I'm nervous. I've been training with the guy for 6 months. I'm like, I'm nervous. Kesley's a tough guy. And as soon as I saw him walking down, I'm like tap Sheree and I'm like, look at his face. And she's like, oh shit, he's ready. Like you could just see that he flipped the switch, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people have that. Cole Faust is somebody that has that.
Cole Faust. There's a lot of local guys that have that switch. I don't have that switch. I don't fight. That's why I don't fight.
Most of them are going places.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Joel and Cole Faust.
Should we break down some UFC?
Yes.
Well, I didn't watch all of the undercard. I only caught the Sam Alvey fight on the undercard, but we'll go through and talk about who won. First up, Mana Martinez, Guido Canetti. I didn't see that fight, but it went to split decision, which I don't think.
Time out. We're taking a break. We're taking a little break real quick.
What happened?
We have a little guest coming in.
Oh, sweet. Come on in, Tyson.
So you might not hear it. What up?
What up?
So this is Steel Fist 135 champ Tyson Roberts.
What's up, Tyson?
How we doing, guys?
Good. Tell him to sit down a little bit.
Here,
so he can come in the
just
camera.
squat down real quick. There you go. Get on the camera a little bit. Whoa, almost spilled the drink.
Yeah.
So Tyson, he's here at the studio and at the office. What are you here doing?
I'm installing cameras for Zack's insurance company. I just opened my own business, RobTech Surveillance. You guys can hit me up if you ever need cameras. Give my number a call, 801-645-0903, or email me at tyson@robtechcctv.com.
Awesome, man. Heck yeah.
Yeah. So we're getting a little security here. You know, we got some nice stuff here. So we're getting a little 24/7 security surveillance at the office of camera. If any of you guys get funny ideas about kind of, like try to steal my belt or steal some of our Lions memorabilia.
I don't think anybody wants our Lions memorabilia.
They should.
Maybe the Barry Sanders helmet. Maybe the Barry Sanders helmet.
Here, so.
Hey, maybe I need Tyson to come set up my cameras because my wife bought some little cameras for our house and she tried sticking one in our bedroom. And like, that's probably not a good place to stick the camera, but
yeah. Let me know. I got you.
So.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. Thanks, Tyson. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, we just want to give Tyson a little shout out,
Yeah, heck yeah.
Gotta support support all the little guys too.
Yeah. Get live ads.
Yeah, we do it for everybody that we like, so not you, Jeff.
When's your shirt coming?
I don't know. Ask him when he's gonna order it. I'll wear it. So I almost posted this actually yesterday. I said, I'll wear it one time and then I'm going to choke him with it. But I realized I'm like, if I post it, I'm going to choke him with it. I'll get put back in Facebook.
You're going to put back in Facebook jail. Yeah.
So I had it typed out and then I thought about it right before I hit send. I was like, oh, that'll put me back in Facebook jail. So I didn't post it. But just so you know, Jeff, send me the shirt and then I'll choke you with it sometime.
Good job. All right. Back to UFC fight night. Mana Martinez, I don't think you or I thought this was going to go to a split decision. I think we both thought Mana Martinez was going to finish him.
Yeah, I actually didn't get to see that fight.
Didn't see that one.
I don't know if that was like a really good split decision or a bad split decision.
Yeah, I'll cruise off the ones we didn't see real quick. Next to Pat Sabatini, Jamal Emmers. Sabatini was sweet heel hook.
Did see that.
Caught that one. JJ Aldrich and Vanessa Demopoulos went to unanimous decision, which we knew that was going to happen.
That was just too much too soon for Vanessa.
Dustin Jacoby, Darren Stewart. I think we both were on that. I don't know if we thought it was going to be a finish in the first round.
No. I think I said you were trying to give like Stewart a little bit of a shot here, and I was just like, I didn't think there was any way. I was all over it, but I thought Stewart would have been durable enough. I figured he would cruise to it. I think what I said was he would cruise to a unanimous decision.
Yeah,
but put him down. Good for him.
Hey. Next up, Wellington Thurman and Sam Alvey went to split decision. I did just watch that before we came on air, and Thurman had 2 points deducted from him in the third round.
For eye pokes.
For eye pokes, 2. The one was a little suspect, but then literally not even 30 seconds later, he did it the exact same thing again.
So you ready for this?
Yeah.
Not popular opinion. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I think the second time should have been a DQ.
Well, if you see it, if you watch it, I mean, it's because the first one was like
two fouls in a fight. You can't tell me that that's not good, dude.
But the first one was very suspect. Like it was even the announcers were like, what? But then when he did it again, they started saying over the air, they're like, okay, now I see why, because he literally just did the same thing again, but it was worse. The second time was a lot worse. So it just made the first one more. I don't think it should have been DQ'd.
I think 2 fouls should equal a DQ. How's that? 2 point deductions for the same thing in the same round.
Yeah. If
you know what that is,
but there has to be some human interaction there. Like that's too, in that situation. I'm not saying I don't disagree with you, because I think if it was too like blatant, like eye pokes,
bro, time out.
Just watch it.
Time out. Is this sport?
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, those bad eye pokes, you could alter people's vision for the rest of their life.
I get it. Watch it, and I think you'll have a different perspective of it. I don't hate it. Maybe you won't, but I don't hate that they let it continue.
Okay, I'm gonna watch
now.
it.
If it would have been two like the second one where they were that bad, I would say yes.
But I don't care about the first one if he's willing to do the second one. Does that make sense? Like,
no, I get it.
If he made the first mistake and then he made it even worse the second time, that means that he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt for it being not that bad for the first one.
I see what you're saying. I don't think it should have been stopped. Sam Alvey's cut was something that they probably
said he said you could see the bone.
Oh, it was nasty. Dustin Crawford thinks DQ too. See, the first one was just, it didn't look intent. It didn't seem intentional.
Well,
to me. That's why I'm
should have not had a point taken away then. Because if that's what you're saying, then I'm okay with it, right? If it was accidental, they don't take a point away. Okay, that's fine. But I'm saying if you commit 2 fouls, it takes a point away. I think that should be an automatic DQ.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. When I watched it, I just didn't think it would warranted a DQ. But he still got the win. Wellington still gets the win because I watched the fight. I was thinking when I saw the scorecards, I'm like, how the hell did he lose getting 2 freaking points taken from him? But I thought Wellington won the first. I thought he won the second. So he's up 2 rounds. And
what do you got? 28-27?
28-27. That
gross. Dude,
the one judge that gave it to Alvey had Alvey winning the 3rd round. So that means Thurman had it was a 10-7. So, wow. But I don't think Alvey won that 3rd round. I thought Wellington did more damage in that 3rd round, but and obviously I bet on Sam Alvey. We were rooting for Sam Alvey, but being objective.
He interacted with me on TikTok. I'm not objective here. I wanted Sam Alvey to win.
I 100% did.
I love Sam.
Such a labor strength from both guys. No, we're working up 10th round. We're almost there. We're screaming through that card. We talked about the local fierce fights first. Next up, we have Abdul Razak Al Hassan and Alessio De Chirico. Man, were we wrong on this one? Like, way wrong. Have we ever been this wrong on a fight ever?
Hey,
where a guy just gets stone cold knocked out?
Yeah, real quick.
The other guy?
No, because he sucked so bad in his last performance. So I just want to note, our YouTube subscription dropped by 1. I think Bruce got a little butthurt about asking for his fight fan credentials. That's hilarious to me.
I don't know.
Bruce, I hope not. I hope you're still here. And you know what? Maybe you can even come on sometime and we can have a conversation about it. But if it is him and he unsubscribed from it,
yeah, I don't think so. But
put your big boy pants on. Let's have a conversation about it, big baby.
Yeah.
I love this. I love doing this.
What did you think of Al Hassan's head kick knockout?
Well, good for him. It's about time. You look like hot garbage in your last fight, and then you do that. So here's the question. So what is he? What is he? The next time he fights, what do we expect from him?
I don't know.
Highlight knockout, or just somebody that looks like our boy Dan Trujillo that can't go 3 rounds?
It's hard to say. All I know is I'll probably fade him in the next fight too until he proves me wrong. He's got to do it at least twice.
I'll probably just not touch it. I probably won't fade him. I'll probably just not touch the next fight.
Oh, I'm fading it hard because he's going to be a big favorite after that knockout. I'm fading that hard.
I like
hard.
That's a veteran betting maneuver there, Jason. That's what you know. What that's what old people with gray beards do. They learn from their mistakes. They're seasoned and no knee jerk reactions.
Hey, before I announce this next fight, I wish we were in studio today because you, sir, should be wearing the genie hat. You should be wearing the genie hat.
I would go because full on annoying, like know-it-all or whatever, but I didn't pull the trigger and I didn't officially pick Gerald Merchant, but I pretty much called that to a T.
You called it to a T. This is probably the first time in a year and a half that you've actually called the fight to the T. Just saying.
Stop it.
I'm usually the one wearing the genie hat. You're not you.
You stop it.
Oh, Dustin doesn't know about the genie hat yet. Oh, don't worry, Justin. It's coming on here in about 4 more fights when I break it down. Don't worry.
You see how stupid he looks in it.
It's coming on. Stay tuned. It's coming, baby. Gerald, hey, that was a fun fight. I did watch that fight.
I did. I watched that.
It's a fun fight. Gerald Burchard is a stud because he was getting rocked in that first round. I thought he was done.
Yeah, that's where I was like, I can't take too much. Like, I'm the man because that was really close to getting finished. The ref said fight back, I think 2 or 3 different times.
Yeah. That was, that's a big win, man. Because that Miradov guy he's highly touted. He's his manager is Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's on the Money Mayweather team.
Wow. If I would have known that, I would have gone in with Gerald Marchant. How about that?
Yeah, because what does he know about MMA?
Right. Checking kicks or anything.
I don't care. We don't bet against the Russians. I'm still sticking with it.
Dude, but Gerald Marchant, what a gangster. Like, seriously. You're the biggest dog on the card. You're a vet.
GM3.
And that was his 28th career victory by submission. And man, it was one of those where he had this, and then when he switched to this, the torque on his body, dude, that was tight, nasty.
Next up, we had Andre Petrovsky and Michael Gilmore. Gilmore coming in on short notice, and he put on a fight, man.
He tried, but dude, Petrovsky's legit. Petrovsky's no joke. Petrovsky is no joke. That's a type of guy. You know what was fun? Did you listen to his post-fight interview after?
I didn't catch all of it.
He's like, yeah, there's fights for me at 185 or 170. He's going to do the Chimaev thing where he thinks he can bounce back and forth.
He's got the body for it. He's a big guy. Like he's a big dude. What was that?
Really,
this one was 185. He could lean down a little bit and go to 170. I could see that. He's got the frame for it. Man, he'd be a big 170 or 2, 6 foot, 73-inch reach. He could be a problem.
I think he is going to be a problem with his wrestling. Good fight IQ too.
Next up, a fight we were dead wrong on: D-Rod and Kevin Lee. I slept on D-Rod, and I'm not what?
No. I'm not that mad at it. I'm not mad at our pick.
You don't think we missed something with D-Rod?
No, I think we missed something to think that Kevin Lee wouldn't just like wrestle him like he should have.
He tried. He couldn't. He took him down in the first round, but in the second and third, he couldn't.
We got swept in the second round, right?
I think
he took him down and got swept.
He took him down and got swept.
And got up. Like
he's not a 170er.
But he's not. He's too big for 155.
Well, then go to Bellator.
You know what?
Go to Bare Knuckle. Go to Bare Knuckle.
You're a dick.
Dude, D-Rod's he's training
muscle off. Here's the thing. Here's where I'm going to bash on Kevin Lee. Okay? When you get to the face-off,
because I got to take a potty break.
Oh gosh, Jason. This potty break is brought to you by Squarespace. No, here's the thing. If you're D-Rod, I wonder if Jason can still hear me. If you're Kevin Lee and you go like face to face with somebody at the face-offs, the night before, and you look him up and down and you go, small. You have to win the next night. You absolutely have to win the next night, or else you look ridiculous. And unfortunately, Kevin Lee kind of, to me, looks ridiculous. He's the type of person that he kind of bugs me and he kind of irritates me. and he's not as good as he thinks he is, which is, I understand he's an elite athlete. He has to have that mentality and that mindset. But it's like, man, like, can we get a better performance from a guy that like thinks he's the man? Could you hear me?
Yeah, I got my
Am I
headphones
wrong?
in.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. You're spot on. No, you're spot on with it.
Like, if you're going to look somebody up and down and call him small at the face-offs, and like you said, can't even wrestle him in the third round, like, what are you doing? Reality check, bro. Shave a little bit of muscle off and comfortably make 155 the right way then. I'll bet you somebody at the UFC PI can help you with that.
Yeah. So what's next for D-Rod? Is he in the rankings?
He should
gotta be, doesn't he? How about him and Sean Brady? Since Kevin Lee was supposed to fight Sean Brady. So how about D-Rod and Sean Brady?
So before I was like back and forth and I was kind of leaning towards Sean Brady. If Kevin Lee and Sean Brady fought now, I am 1,000,000% on Sean Brady.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would say is D-Rod and Sean Brady. That's a good fight. Let's do that.
I like it.
Let's do that.
Give it to us.
You know what I like about D-Rod too is like he said, he's like, I'll be that guy. I'll be that dog. You can call me anytime, anywhere. I'm always ready to go 3 rounds. Like, he's not a guy that gets out of shape between fights and needs time to get in shape or whatever. He's like, I'll take short notice fights. I don't care. He's not a small 170er either.
He's a big 170er.
He's a big body. Like,
he's
like, what about like,
D-Rod? Yeah, he's 6'1". He's a big. Training down in Vegas now too. Made the move down there to train with Syndicate. So he's got some bodies. Like, he's gotten better each time we've seen him. He's gotten a little bit better too. I'm starting to get on that D-Rod train a little bit. I'm starting to become a believer. Not gonna lie.
Kevin Lee's a good win. And Kevin Lee, that was the first time though that I really think he lost to somebody that I'm like, if you're elite, you probably should have won that fight.
Should have won that fight.
And you did.
All right, next up, the Ultimate Fighter 135 finale was Ricky Turcios against Brady Highstand. That was a fun fight.
It was really fun. Well, I would say
split decision.
Split decision. It was a close fight. It was really close fight.
Fun fight.
But dude, Ricky's the weirdest guy I've ever seen in the UFC.
What was he singing? Leonard Skinner after Freebird? Was that what he was singing afterwards?
2 minutes. He made everybody sit there and listen to him sing for 2 minutes.
Doesn't he? Who does he train with? He trains with Yanez, right? Alex Moreno. That's right. Does him and Tony Ferguson, they don't train together, do they? Or do they?
No.
Because Tony commented on his thing on his win, and I'm thinking they're kind of a lot alike. They're in that similar kind of cuckoo, but he can fight. So,
he can fight. Homeboy can fight, but he's a weird cat. That's for sure.
Good. Shout out to Ricky. Good win on there. Brian Battle in the 185 UFC Ultimate Fighter middleweight. You had Brian Battle fighting Gilbert Urbina.
I missed.
Urbina took that fight on short notice.
Yeah, I missed on that one, and I thought he could. He did all right, but Brian.
They were throwing down in the first round too.
Yeah, they were. Brian Battle. He's only been training for 5 years.
That's crazy. Now he's an Ultimate Fighter winner.
What a freaking athlete. Like, dude, I've been training for 4. This is where equality and gender equality and all this stuff gets thrown out the window. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, all people aren't created equal to do equal things and do everything. Point in case, Brian Battle, supremely talented, supremely gifted, good work ethic, everything. Look where he's gone in 5 years. Like, it's holy crazy. Cow. Most human beings can't do that, folks.
All right, so we get to the main event. Dustin, he asked for the genie hat.
Whatever.
Wait. This is what happens when you pick the fight and you nail it and Zack doesn't listen to you. You have to break out the genie hat.
And it was, hey, how about this? It was a bad ref stoppage. How about that?
That was not a bad red stoppage.
Bad. Edson was fighting back.
No, he was getting his ass whooped.
How dare you put on that genie hat after Edson gets screwed by the ref like that?
You need to get a genie hat too, because I'll give it to you. You were spot on the GM3. Even though you didn't pick it, I still have to give you credit on that one. But Gige, holy crap. Dude, what do you think about him and Max? Do you think Max just works him? Because I don't.
I think Max works everybody.
I don't.
Dude, come on.
I'm going to say it right now on the podcast.
You're ridiculous.
I'm telling you.
Go rewatch Max and Calvin Cater. Go rewatch Max Calvin Cater. Little recency bias on your part.
Gige is not Calvin Cater.
You know what? You know what the fight is? Calvin Cater and Gige. That's the fight.
I think Gige pieces him up. I'm telling you right now. He's legit. What is that? 6 in a row now in the UFC? 6 in a row, right? Am I wrong?
Oh, he's good. He's really good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 wins in a row. He beats
give him a title shot then. Give him a title shot.
No, I'm not saying title shot, but that's 7 wins in a row. Where's this guy? Did the rankings really come out yet? Are the rankings out?
Really good.
He's 10. He just beats Barboza. 7-0. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
7-0.
Okay.
He just beats Barboza. So he's in the top 10 now, right? Cater. I like it. Give him Cater.
I was gonna say, I'm not saying Cater beats him. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying I think it's a dogfight. And I don't think Giga just mops through him the way that you're suggesting that he would.
I think he does.
You're silly.
I really want to see the Max fight. I really do. Dude, he's a problem. Gige's a problem.
You're literally being like, yeah, I want to see the Max fight. Max is the best 145er of all time. Calm your tits.
He's not the champ.
He's my champ.
He's my champ. It's not my champ. Not my champ.
Folks, not my champ. No.
Okay. I even though I think I would love to see the fight with Max, I do think one more step. If he beats a guy like Cater,
that's what I'm saying is why the rush to give him
no,
maybe it's too much too soon. But that's why there's levels, right? Like that's why you bring it up. Calvin Cater is the perfect opponent for him now.
I like it.
That's perfect.
Oh, that's good.
And whether he ekes out a split decision or knocks him out, either way, then you could say, cool, now give him Max. And great call out. That you should be calling for the top.
I mean, who?
Good job.
I'm just looking at who has knocked out Barboza like that. Gaethje knocks him out with a right hook.
At 155, though.
Yep. He got a cut from the Kevin Lee fight and had to be stopped in the 5th round. Other than that, got Starch choked by Ferguson. I don't think we've ever seen him lose like he lost to Gige.
Part of the reason why I picked Edson is nobody's actually beaten Edson in a kickboxing match before.
I mean, have we seen him wrestle? Like, have we seen him?
Why don't we just give him Volk right now? Sorry, Brian Ortega, move over. Giga's jumping to the front of the line.
Ortega might be the champ.
Let's see.
He could very well be the champ after all said and done.
You know what the firework fight is?
What's that?
Giga and Yair Rodriguez. Those little kick happy buggers.
Isn't Yair supposed to fight
Arnold Allen, Dan Ige? Like, dude, he could fight all those guys. Arnold Allen's a good fight for him too.
I don't know. Anybody in that top 10.
The only one that I think he absolutely smokes unquestionably is Josh Emmett.
I'd like to see him in there with more of a wrestler heavy guy to see how he does.
You know what? F it. Battle Royale, featherweight division, throw them all in there.
Get him in there.
Just get him in.
This is a freaking fun weekend of fights.
Oh, we had a blast. Are you kidding me? Oh, and then UFC 268 was announced.
What?
Take my money.
Take my money. Let's pull up that card real quick. UFC 268, right?
Yeah. I mean, 68, sorry.
Usman, Covington. Usman Covington, main event. You got Rose and Weili for the co-main.
Which I'm not super happy about, by the way.
I know you're not. Who else gets it? Who else gets the title shot? Who would you give it to?
Why can't Weili and Joanna fight for a number 1 contender? For the rematch of the, you know what I mean? Do you hate that?
I would rather see Weili get.
Do you hate that?
I don't hate it, but I don't hate Weili getting a rematch either.
Here's what it's the principle, and I understand each division's in a different state. And Julian Ruiz made a good point. They're in a different state, and he's not wrong by saying that. But the principle of Stipe is God to the UFC heavyweight division, right?
Yeah.
Defends his title more than anybody, more title defenses than anybody. And it's awesome. But then freaking Weili wins it, loses it her next fight, and gets an immediate rematch. Oh, the Tigers pitcher just took a pitch right back off the chin.
Oh, no way.
Ouch.
Still 3-2?
Yeah.
Come on, Tigers.
He just threw that pitch, and that ball came right back and caught him on the chin. Oof. Good
that's
chin.
Not good.
Good chin. But you know what I mean? Like, or why not do the Carla Esparza fight? She earned it.
Isn't she fighting? I thought she had somebody.
No,
Cookie Monster.
She earned it. She looked great in her last fight, and she called for it. And she has a win over Rose Namajunas.
UFC China. There's a UFC the PI Institute coming up over there.
Okay,
give her the shot. I don't hate it.
Give her the
shot. I don't hate it.
Stop it. Like you're throwing her a bone just because she's from China. It's stupid. That's dumb. I mean, business, sure. Okay. And if you're saying we're doing this as a business decision, then I get it. But as far as earning it and rankings, I don't like it. I do not like it.
I have to agree with that.
Because if you're a champion and you need at least to have defended your title successfully a handful of times, maybe not 5, but 2-3 times, you lose. And if you lose, there should be criteria for rematches, I think. Here's the thing. Was there any question who is the better fighter at the end of their first fight?
0.
Did Rose get lucky?
Nope.
No, she freaking set up a front kick and flatlined her. And we cashed heavy on that. Doug Rose, fine. You know what? We'll cash heavy again. I hope they make Rose a dog again in that fight.
So, that's going to happen in New York too. So that's the co-main event. And if that wasn't good enough for you, you got Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler next after that. You're right. And I was thinking about, I'm like, that should be a main event, like 5-rounder. But I'm like, let's be honest, is that going beyond 3 rounds anyways? Probably not. So I'll pull back off that a little bit. Chandler's going 9-night. You got that fight, right? Well, Chandler's then you got Sean Strickland and Luke Rockhold after that. This is before I'm going down, right?
All in on Sean Strickland in that fight.
If you're still not happy, you got Frankie Edgar and Marlon Vera.
I'm not happy with that fight.
Edmund Shabazian against Nasruddin Imavov. Jermaine Ramdami against Irene Aldana. That's a good fight. Oh, you want more? You got Al Iaquinta and Bobby Green.
That's a fun fight. That's actually a really fun fight.
That is just a sick card. The last 3 I named off were all prelims. The main event starts with Frankie Edgar and Marlon Vera. Dude, what a freaking card, man.
Can I just ask real quick? What is Frankie Edgar still fighting for?
I don't know. I don't like this fight for him.
I don't like it at all for him.
I saw some people trying to say that they like it. I don't like that fight for him.
Chico's a dog, dude. He is a dog.
Yeah. Well, I already know who you got. I was going to say, who do you got in Colby and Usman?
I'd love to be able to make an argument for Colby, but I just can't. I think Usman's the pound for pound best fighter on the planet right now. If Colby upsets this version of Kamaru Usman, that trilogy fight will be just.
After watching that first fight, I don't think he has the power to finish him.
Because he doesn't finish people with power. He finishes them with volume, like the Diaz style.
And the way that Usman's striking has gotten better. What happened?
Hey, next pay-per-view, Nick Diaz is back.
Is he?
Him and Robbie Lawler's the next pay-per-view, 266.
Oh. Dude, this card this weekend's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Derek Brunson, Darren Till, Tom Aspinall, Sergey Spivak. David
Dude, the
Zawada.
Aspinall Spivak fight is a good fight for the heavyweight division. That's a really, really big fight.
Cleo Roundtree.
I like Cleo Roundtree.
Patty the Batty making his UFC debut.
That guy is a fat little turd. I hope he gets
freaking hilarious.
He's basically the Paul brothers midget little sibling. That's basically what he is. But he can fight. He can actually really fight, though.
I want to know why Luigi Venturamini is the Italian stallion, but he's from Brazil.
Maybe his heritage is from.
I'm a little
Italy.
confused.
Well, it's like Paul Felder was the Irish Dragon.
Oh yeah, and he's just
American.
He just kind of ran with it.
You just ran with it. I think your name's Luigi and you just go Italian, right?
Yeah, you kind of got to run with it.
If you just walk out in a plumber suit, he could just rock it a green plumber suit. You could just rock it out all the way. Hit all the stereotypes.
Dude, what a fun weekend. Glad I got my voice back after screaming all night Saturday. Every fight was great on that Fierce card. Great.
We'll be in Vegas this weekend.
Going to Vegas this weekend. We got Steel Fist coming up in a couple weeks.
Oh, man.
That card's going to be – hey, if you guys are on that Steel Fist card, we say it again. If you don't hear from us, please reach out to us. We will get you guys on. I promise.
We want you to come on, but we only have so many hours in the day to reach out to people. And, and if you guys didn't see, we have the other half of the main event coming on. Michael Aston, Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, we had Blake on last week. That was a great, fun interview.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good fights on there. A lot of good fights on that card. Oh, man. Hey, shout out to Contender Clothing, man. Check out the Contender Cobra Kai shirt.
Contender Clothing. I got my hat. Yeah, take off that stupid genie hat and rep Contender Series. Contender
Boom.
Clothing.
How about the Contender? Roman hooking it up.
And I'll do that. So, okay. Funny little side note. That is dope.
It's pretty dope, isn't it?
Funny little side note. I had somebody reach out and they're like, dude, what is this? I'm like, it's my buddy's fight shirt.
Yeah.
And he says, dude, it looks like he's like,
that's what Cherie said too.
That's what he's telling me. He's like, is his butt cheek hanging out, or is he like old and like an old guy with some saggy, undercarriage, or like what? And I'm like, no, it's his glove. And then I went and looked in the mirror and looked at it. I'm like, yeah, that design could have got a little better.
It kind of does. Yeah. We'll change it up for the
But it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Cherie was like, what is that? What the? At first I thought shorts, and then I was like, no, it's his glove. If you see the picture, it's on Sierra Martial Arts Academy. It's on their window.
Yeah. Dope. It's dope. And I will just say this little teaser.
What?
Little teaser. If you are looking to go to fights in the month of October, we have Steel Fist, Fierce, back-to-back weeks. And I happen to know who's headlining the Fierce card. And I happen to know that there are going to be some big, big names on the Steel Fist card. So just mark your calendars right now for the last 2 weekends of the month.
We know the headliner for the Steel Fist too.
Are we supposed to say that yet?
No, but we know who it is, or it's going to be.
We think we know.
We're pretty sure we know.
Pretty sure we know. Don't ask. I won't tell. And neither will Jason.
No, we're not telling. We're not telling anybody.
But just plan on going to fights back-to-back weekends because it's going to be sick.
Ooh, yeah. Exciting, man. Is that it? Are we done for the day?
Yes.
That was fun.
I think we got everything that we needed, right?
Yeah, we covered everything. Covered it all. We'll be back on Friday. Hey.
Here, I have a question for you. I do have one question for you. Man, does anybody else think that the Ultimate Fighter has lost its draw? That was the least interested I've been in the Ultimate Fighter in the last 5
years. I wasn't interested in it at all. I'm more interested in the Contender Series than I am Ultimate Fighter now.
Yep. I was gonna say I think Contender Series stole that momentum, dude.
Which it's back on Tuesday, tomorrow night.
Yes. Hey, just so you know, Tigers are only down 3-2 going to the bottom of the 9th.
Let's go.
Let's get it. We're going Detroit. What?
Detroit. Hey, quick, before we get off, Brunson or Till? I know we're going to record on Friday, but you got to give me a quick pick.
I'm gonna go Darren Till for sure on this.
Till? You're going Till, huh?
I like
right.
Darren Till.
I don't hate it.
Best
I don't
Twitter
hate
in
it.
the game.
Hopefully Friday, if all goes well, we're going to be recording in studio on Friday. If all goes well. Got the video camera. Just got to get it all set up, get it all linked to my computer. And we're going to rock and roll. See you guys on Friday.
Yep.
Oh, Jake Paul shirt coming soon. Good doing business with you, Zach.
I'll wear it one time. And then whatever happens to it after that, it's on you, dog.
See you guys Friday. What?
Actually, Thursday with Michael Lasky.
Oh, Thursday, Michael Lasky. 2:00, right?
Noon.
Noon? Is it noon or 2? I don't know. We'll post it. It's on Thursday.
I posted it.
Oh, did you? Oh, I haven't looked at my phone.
In the September 2nd at noon.
Sweet. Holla. See you guys on Thursday. We out.